A brand new Caribbean resort where you can order cocktails inside a waterfall, airport security queues in the US stretching to 3 hours, a family roller coaster that still hits 44 miles an hour, and a suitcase that accidentally went on a 25,000-mile world tour without its owner. Welcome to the Departure Lounge. On the west coast of Barbados, a newly reopened beachfront resort is already turning heads. Crystal Cove Barbados, a tribute portfolio all-inclusive resort, has officially opened, marking a first for Marriott. It's the first time the tribute portfolio brand has launched an all-inclusive resort anywhere in the world. The boutique-style property sits around 16 miles from Grantley Adams International Airport on one of Barbados's famous stretches of powder white sands and calm Caribbean waters. Getting there from the UK is easy. You can fly direct from London Heathrow with British Airways or from Manchester with Virgin Atlantic, with flight times of around 8 to 9 hours. Then, after you've cleared passport control, collect your bags and take the short transfer across the island, and you can realistically be poolside within about 40 minutes of leaving the airport. Not bad after a long flight. Now, the resort itself keeps things intimate with just 88 rooms, all designed with a relaxed island feel and views from either tropical gardens or the Caribbean Sea. At the centre of the resort are 3 lagoon-style pools surrounded by palm trees, terraces and social spaces designed for that laid-back Caribbean vibe. Food and drink are a big focus too. There are 2 restaurants, a coffee and a wine bar, and the resort's most famous feature, the Cave Bar. That's a bar hidden inside a waterfall grotto where guests can literally swim up and order a cocktail. Beyond the pools, guests can try snorkeling, sailing, kayaking, water skiing and boating, while families have access to a new kids club developed with an experimental retailer camp. And thanks to a dine around programme, guests can also eat at other participating resorts nearby in the Barbados collection. So you get the feel of a boutique resort with the perks of a much bigger one. But the real question is, would you book a Caribbean resort for this amazing cave bar, or would you be spending the entire holiday floating between those relaxing lagoon pools instead? Let us know. Heading to the US soon, you might want to arrive at the airport a lot earlier than usual. Airports across the United States are currently seeing security queues stretching up to 3 hours, and it's all because of a staffing shortage at the TSA, which is the agency that runs airport security. The issue has been triggered by the ongoing US government shutdown, which has left around 50,000 officers working without pay. As a result, more staff are calling in absent, meaning fewer security lanes open and much longer queues. For UK travellers, this usually won't affect you on the way out to the US, but you could feel it on your return flight home when you have to go back through airport security before departure. And if you're travelling within the US or catching a domestic connection, you could face some very long waits. Airports including Houston, Atlanta and New Orleans have already reported passengers waiting up to 3 hours just to clear security. And with some people missing out on their flights, the timing couldn't really be worse. This is happening just as spring break season begins in the US, which runs from early March through to mid-April, when schools and universities stagger their holidays. That means millions more passengers heading through airports at the busiest time of the travel year. Because of the delays, some airports are now advising travellers to arrive 3 to 4 hours before departure, even for domestic flights. If you're heading to the States in the next few weeks, pack your patience. Quick question for you though, what's the longest queue you've ever waited at airport security? Let us know in the comments. What if I told you there was a brand new roller coaster where kids as young as 5 can ride, but it still hits the 44 miles an hour? Well, that's exactly what just opened up at SeaWorld San Antonio, and it's already breaking records. The new ride is called Barracuda Strike, and it's officially the tallest inverted family coaster in North America. Now, that means riders can actually hang beneath the track, giving you that flying feeling as you twist and dive around the park. It starts off with a 90-foot climb and then races through 1,800 feet of track at up to 44 miles an hour, skimming right over the park's water lake, designed to mimic the speed and agility of a barracuda in the ocean. But here's the clever part. Despite the thrills, there are no upside-down loops, and the minimum height is just 4 to 2 inches, so younger kids can ride alongside adrenaline junkies in the family. So, if you're heading to Texas and visiting SeaWorld San Antonio, there's a brand new coaster you might want to add to your itinerary. Would you ride a family roller coaster that still hits 44 miles an hour, or are you keeping your feet firmly on the ground? Let us know in the comments. Imagine packing your suitcase for a trip only to discover it had a much better holiday than you did. Well, in July 2022, a passenger flying through Heathrow Airport checked in their bag just like normal, but when they landed, the suitcase was nowhere to be seen. So they opened the airline's baggage tracker, and what they saw looked less like lost luggage and more like a round the world itinerary. The suitcase had travelled from London to Dubai, to Singapore, to Sydney, and then back to London. Now, that's over 25,000 miles across 3 continents, all without its owner. 2 weeks later, that bag finally turned up looking perfectly normal, but technically, that suitcase had just completed a better world tour than the person who packed it. So, if your luggage goes missing on your next trip, just remember there's a chance it's out there living its best life. Oh, and I'll just leave you with this. I recently flew with an airline that sadly lost my luggage. I did sue them, but unfortunately, I lost the case. Oh, are we there yet?